D, aka the Random Multi Broadcast. I am joined by my man's Michael George Bathurst. Hashtag shout MGB. It's my man's right here. I appreciate you. Mike, what's going on? And I want to thank you for running the recaps of some broadcasts we did last night. It's a little bit of a marathon. I do appreciate that, man. How you doing?
That was fun. It was fun watching them. It was fun watching them. It was because we get kind of when the season's on, we're nuts.
Of course we are.
We're nuts because we're passionate about our teams, and it's really important to us to not be right, but
We want to see if our prediction are accurate. We want to see if the way we look at things is as similar as everybody else. And when it comes out just as good, we love it. I admit
Mhm.
that. I admit that.
So what are you thinking about Justin Fields with New York?
I don't know what to expect now. I don't expect much. And I said that
I
on broadcast over the past couple of decades. I'll say that
yeah.
Jets fans have been let down. That would
Okay.
include me as well. We've been let down. We've had great expectations. You can count on one hand how many times those expectations came through.
Hmm.
Even a surprise to the performances of Mark Sanchez, and I'll say his name specifically because he actually did make it to the playoffs. So I was very happy with his performance. They remember him for the butt fumble only, but that wasn't his whole career. And I'm not letting him go out like that. So I'm grateful for what I've seen for them. But for the Jets, I don't know, bro. I just don't know.
They're kind of cursed.
Kinda is an understatement.
Yeah, they've had a rough time. Um, but if you think about, like, I've got a couple graphs that
So
not
let's
graphs,
run. We got
slides. Yeah,
time. We got time.
we got time. Okay, so
We
I
got
got to
time.
remember how to do this. My brain. Do you
Early
find
in
as
the
you get older, the brain is like there's fog in the brain? Are you there yet? Especially
I
in the
started
morning.
noticing that around 35. And I'll be honest,
Yeah,
I did start noticing that around 35 years old. I was like, oh, God.
not good.
Well, I felt it happening because I couldn't remember something that I'm notorious for remembering everything.
Right. Well,
So it started happening to me.
you're very bright.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm
No,
sharing
no.
this while you're talking, so I don't want anybody thinking I'm being distracted. I'm sharing the broadcast out as we go.
He's
But
allowed to be distracted.
you got the floor, man. Run it. You got the floor.
Um, I really feel right now for Aaron Rodgers, and I really feel, believe it or not, for Kirk Cousins, because as you get older, you just don't have the physical prowess that you did as a young kid.
I can
You,
relate.
now you have wisdom, and you know how to do things maybe a little better than you did at one point,
Mhm.
but time is cruel.
Time isn't cruel. Time is exact. You could think and believe what you want to, but your
Oh, I
body's
like
going to
that.
tell you exactly where you are.
You know what? You're right. That
That's
is a great way to look at it.
that's the
Okay,
truth.
so we're gonna go today a little bit down memory lane. We're gonna look at we're gonna do some shameless plugging again.
Very shameless.
Shameless plugging. For those who don't know, through the season, we try to help you through your fantasy football needs. We try,
We do try. We do
we
try.
try, and we were as accurate as a lot of the analysts last year.
Go with it. Go with it. That's what I'm talking.
No, we were though. We were very accurate. There were weeks that we had 14 correct. I had one week where I had every team correct of the games. Sorry, I had 16. I didn't think that was possible. If you can get 10 out of the 16, that is phenomenal.
Yes.
If
Compared
you
to
can
most
get
analysts,
12,
I agree.
and Tony was many weeks 12,
Thank you.
13,
Was I? There
12. Yes.
was a lot of tens.
No, you had 12s too. You had
You
a
got the
and I
numbers.
and I would always be like, God damn, he's like, I gotta beat that guy.
Damn, what's good, man? How you doing? I appreciate you coming through.
And then what pulled me over the top was I had one week where I had 16, and I think you had 10.
I know the best week I had was a 14-2. I began the season with that.
Yeah.
That blew your mind, yeah.
Now I also do. You know how you always say to me, "Can you take Cam's thing off my face?" Thanks. Um, I also do this spiritual side of football,
Uh-huh.
and it is more about what the players go through, and I'm talking average players,
Uh-huh.
not the top 10%, not the players that make 55 million a year and are guaranteed 250 million
Right.
like Josh Allen. Shout MGB is something that I do that is for AI music through Suno and Udio. I do very spiritual kind of stuff, almost like Christian rock. This is one of our favorites.
That's one of my favorite logos that he's created. Cam, I see you over there. I hope everything's going good with you too, man. Get at me anytime. I do like that logo, Mike. I do like that.
This one was made on. Now I like this one too. It's
That
the same thing
works for me. That works for me. Yes, sir. Please.
because it's got the NFL fantasy football on the bottom,
Thank you. That nails it.
and I
If
think
you
a
want
lot
to
of
look at
people.
aspect of creations and
Mhm.
things that you want to look right with the assistants, that nails it. And that I will ask you to keep. Please continue.
A lot of people this year were confused with our shows at times because they didn't understand the fantasy element. What we're trying to do is that it's not necessarily if the player is going to win, it's how many points that player is going to acquire.
Yes.
And this is for my friends on LinkedIn who don't understand fantasy football. So every week they calculate through several categories depending on what the draft is. And if you can have players say like Bijan Robinson, who was around 20 points, Jamar Chase he had weeks where he had 34 points, which is insane. Even Kirk Cousins, when he had that one game where he had 500 yards, do you remember that in passing? That would have been so if you had a crystal ball. And then they make it look so easy at the end of the year because they go, this is the perfect draft. And you go, well, of course it is after you've seen everything that's happened. The thing that kills you is the injuries. So with you, with the Steelers and a running back, you kept hoping and praying that he would get the numbers. It just didn't happen.
Yes. Najee Harris. Yes.
Hi, hey, Mr. Newland, how you doing?
Don, what's going on, man? Hey, Mill, how you doing, man? I've been seeing your posts. I'm glad you're doing okay. Mike, if my background gets too loud, let me know. I'm muting my mic on purpose because I got an AC unit. I got a portable AC unit. The main one went out. So if it gets too loud, let me
It's
know.
not that bad. It's not that
Okay.
bad. This is my personal favorite of the
Like
ones
that.
we've done.
I like
This
that
one
too.
here.
I do like that. That
I
logo
love
in
it.
the bottom's going to be an
Yeah.
issue, but I like that. Damn, that's good, Mike. Whew, good job.
Well, it's not me. It's Grok.
Yeah, but you
It's
you
good
you
old.
used it as a prompt, so I appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is, right here. This is Tony D when he is not winning in the pool. See the intensity there?
Yes, pretty much. That's actually pretty
Right
good.
there. He's like, and then the angels are supporting him every week. Do you
That's
see
kind
all
of
the light flickers coming off of him?
kind of
Or
accurate.
that's just all the energy he's expelling. I'm not
That's
too
my
sure.
what if.
Um Last year, this individual I found. Do you know who this is? You know who this is, right?
Last year,
Last year
individual,
he was worried that his record would be shattered,
Eric
and he was
Dickerson.
hoping
Eric Dickerson.
right.
Yes,
It ended up being through the playoffs.
yes.
Anyways,
He
the
didn't get it through
record
the
was
regular
gone.
season, but he did get it as the Super Bowl was
Yeah.
playing. Yes.
I want to bring something up about classy people.
Go.
Okay. Wayne Gretzky, do you know who that is?
Yes. Hockey player.
Okay. Okay. Well, Ovechkin, for those who don't know, has just tied him for the most amount of goals ever. And he did it in one game less than Gretzky did. And Gretzky talked about he loved Gordie Howe. Gordie Howe was on the Red Wings. He was considered in his mind the greatest hockey player that ever played. Ever played. And when he started beating him in his records,
Wait a
he
minute.
felt really
Gordie Howe
bad.
was the greatest.
That's what Wayne Gretzky thought.
Okay. Okay.
Because when he was a kid, he idolized Gordie Howe, and Gordie Howe had all the scoring records and points records. And when he started stealing, well, not stealing, acquiring through hard work, the records, he said to his dad, I feel weird because I'm not worthy of that crown. It's a different world. And he said, How about this? When someone breaks your record, and they will, be as gracious as Gordy has. And don't have any guilt. Enjoy this time. And that stuck with him. And he was like, so he's at every game Ovechkin's on, and he's waiting for Ovechkin to score that goal. Now, Ovechkin, here's how he is such a class act. When there's a penalty or they pull the goalie out, which they do at the end of the game, sometimes trying to have the extra player to score a goal, Ovechkin didn't want to be on the ice. He didn't want to break the record in an empty net. He wanted to break the record with a goaltender between the post.
I like that.
Yeah. A little bit of integrity. So for the people who are watching, what are you working on right now?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Checking the comments.
You checking the
checking the comments. I didn't think the Rumble comments was coming on at first.
Yeah.
I did notice yesterday when Rich sent a comment
Yeah.
through Rumble, it did pop up. So I'm making sure they all going through while you're talking.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So-
I always test everything out that we got. I always do that.
Oh, I can hear myself. That's so weird.
You always
So we're looking here at what I consider a pressure chamber, and I want to talk about this just for a couple minutes.
go,
And I would love your opinion as well.
please.
Now that he has the pieces, he has a solid defensive line. He
Mhm.
has an immensely gifted coach
Mm-hmm.
who I get is already a little bit frustrated with him. He has not been able to have a breezy time. So all the players that have been drafted high that are analysts now are going, the worst thing that ever happened to me was I was in the top 10. Because
in
the
the who?
pressure's on me. All these analysts we're talking about who were in the top 10 at one point.
Yes.
They said that was the worst thing that could happen. You're better off to be like a Puka Nakua, right? Who was in like the second or third round. Then don't ever be where they're expecting you to be the savior, especially on a team that's not great.
Let's analyze this properly. Most of your players say that, correct?
Not all. Some love the challenge, but they're saying as a young adult,
Yes.
like he has pressure on him that you and I could never ever possibly imagine. Right.
I want you to go ahead and elaborate on that because I got somebody to. I got a challenge for that. And on the bottom of your screen, you see where that little hide is. Hit the hide so that's not on there.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
There you go. Yeah.
You don't want to be the high drafted player and have all the expectations on your shoulders, correct?
Yes, that's what I've never been in the top 10 of football, but I'm talking. They were saying they would have been better off to make less money at the beginning and had more time to be harvested. Like they're saying that we expect too much of the players too soon.
We do. I will give you 2 quarterbacks that made it that well.
Yeah.
Or did it 3. Now, did you bring him up there? 3 quarterbacks that did great that were high draft picks. He is one. That's Matt Stafford.
Yes.
I believe he was a high draft pick. Somebody check me on that. Ben Roethlisberger. Outstanding rookie season.
Yes.
You know who else did good as a high draft pick? Cam Newton with Carolina. Those 3 will be my 3 challenges.
Yeah, but Cam Newton was considered right away though to be a savior, wasn't he? Come on.
Yes, and I will call him one. I said he was a Hall of Famer off his first game.
Yeah.
And most people don't like that I say that, but you got to look at what he did. His very first game in the NFL. Look at what he did. Statistically, he is a Hall of Fame candidate, in my opinion.
So we're going to change gears just for a second.
Sure.
There is a common thread here. We've talked about this before. People who know me know how much I love Sean McVay. Love him. I think he's brilliant.
He is brilliant.
Now, all these coaches below him here, they are all probably very high IQ. If you look at Kevin O'Connell, he is deemed to be one of the best quarterbacks. Like he was a quarterback at one point. Did you know that?
I remember you talking about this. I don't remember him playing. While
He
you're
wa-
at this, I want to throw this out there because you spoke on this before. I didn't realize it. This I did not know. People who were under his coaching tree. So big ups
Yeah.
for you having this because Belichick had a coaching tree that did very well. I give you Pete Carroll.
hmm
I give you Nick Saban. I give you, I want to say, I think it was Rex Ryan that was under his coaching tree.
Yeah.
So this is very similar. What you got right here, the coach who's not doing the best right now out of that group is going to be Liam Cohen because he's at
Um,
Jacksonville.
well, I'll tell you, if anybody can do it, it's him. And he is, here's another thing. He is another phenomenal quarterback coach. Unbelievable. Kevin O'Connell is respected as being a wonderful quarterbacks coach. Now, he's a great coach, don't get me wrong.
Okay.
But part of the reason they brought Liam in is they really felt like he could help because they feel like they got the right quarterback.
I thought they did too, but their record's not showing it.
No, but they're feeling like if he has the right tutelage, he'll be fine.
The record's not showing it after 3 seasons.
No, no, and I agree with that. But I'm predicting this year you'll see it an improvement. How drastic I don't know. Matt LaFleur is insanely intense.
I want to do this proper. Yeah, let's do it like this. Let's do it like this.
Let's do it like this.
Mhm.
And Zach is also insanely
Zach is doing fine.
no, but he's also intense, and all of these guys are under the umbrella here of
Sean McVay.
Sean.
So they
Yeah,
must have been with him his rookie year when he was with the Rams.
right. But he is one of the youngest coaches.
Yes, he is. He was
So
the
what?
youngest coach when he first came in, correct?
Yeah, I was watching old film. Yes, I was watching old film, and I could not believe how skinny Andy Reid was at one point.
Must have been 20 years ago.
Oh, it was.
Yes, had to have been. Had to
And
have
I was like, this is crazy. I love these two photos because you can see here, he's like, someday. He's got it in his face. Even though he lost, he played the game of his life. In
Yes,
fact,
he did. Yes, he
he
did.
played a better game in 2023 than he did in 2025. But he didn't have to.
He
And
didn't
you
have
should.
to play as hard in 2025. That's true.
He didn't. And the defense they've got that they've built there
That
is
defense in a Super Bowl is a problem.
for anyone.
And I talked about this during the season. That first Super Bowl they won, that defense was monstrous. Same defense was in the 2025 Super Bowl.
No,
Yes, it was.
no.
And I will give you the front defensive line as the example.
A lot of the pieces that weren't there, those guys retired. They were old. They had I don't know their names. One of them is a broadcaster now. But yeah.
I'm trying to think of who it is, but go ahead.
Yeah, but yeah, they were not the same degree as good as they are.
But they played the same way.
Yeah,
And I
but
know that the front floor had a rush. It wasn't even necessarily a blitz, but it was just brutal.
the average height I think is like 6'6" and 6'4" to 6'6" and 360 pounds.
Which is pretty much what the Dallas Cowboys had when they were winning the Super Bowls. They had 300
Right.
linemen. Yes, actually, that was the offensive line, if I remember correctly. But if the defensive line is 300 pounds, that's crazy.
I'll be shocked if he does the numbers he did last year.
Jalen Hurts?
No. Do you know who this is?
Oh,
right
that's
here?
Saquon Barkley. My apologies.
Yeah.
That's Saquon Barkley. It's an AI pick. I kind of had it all.
Yeah, it's not the best, but
It's not bad though.
It's not horrible. You can
bad.
tell. Yeah, I happen to know that's his number too. All right. So if you look at him and you look at Derrick Henry,
Similar numbers. We talked about that, right?
right? But look at the difference. The team you're on makes the difference. Okay, when he was with New York, and he had 962 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Having an insanely gifted line, which makes giant holes for you, and great tight ends that block. He suddenly went from that to 2005. And maybe he felt respected, maybe he had a lot to prove, but even his average carry went up by almost 2 yards.
You know what's different? It may have been the line. I really can't dispute it, but I have to say, I think he ran the same way, and it had to have been the offensive line. He was just breaking through everybody. Derrick Henry was doing the same thing when he was in Baltimore, running the same way he did in Tennessee. We're going to have to give the offensive line some credit. Now, mind you, Philadelphia's offensive line took a lot of criticism before Saquon Barkley got there.
Yeah.
So I kind of want to put it on his running style more than the line, but the numbers are going to show me different.
So these were this will be the question of the day. I believe both of us know who it is, but these two rookies last year I felt were the best overall. The one is a bit of an arrogant ass, but the other is poised and proved a lot of people that he should have been the number one pick. This is an interesting. Whoever made this, I'm very impressed because this required a lot of work. If you look at this, since 2022,
Mm-hmm.
this is from last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is insane. 44 sacks. That's crazy. Mike has got 39, Daniel Hunter 39, and Nick Bosa 38. But to have 44, like think of the wear and tear on your body as well. The amount of downs those guys do, and their back problems, and their knees, and their
Well, if you're on the field a lot, then yes. Which a lot of most star defensive players are. I understand that. I understand.
Now Myles Garrett basically found a way to get the money he wanted, but he didn't find a way to get the team he wanted.
Okay.
Like he's making 43 million a year now.
Okay.
That's crazy. Something like that. I don't know how much of that is guaranteed, and that's what you should always look at. Because if you don't produce, you're gone. It doesn't matter what they promise you. It's the guarantee, right?
Yes.
Like if Josh Allen tomorrow, his knee is shot and he's done forever, he's getting 250 million.
It's how your contract is structured.
Yeah. And look at how many people in free agency, they just went, nope, you're overpriced. Like Cooper Kupp, what did you think about that? Do you think they should have kept him and paid him? Or, yeah?
I've got a real big problem with them letting him go. In my opinion, he saved them in that Super Bowl.
Yeah.
He really did save them. They were moving the ball through him more than anything in that Super Bowl. I'm surprised that he's gone and he went to Seattle. He will be the star receiver up there, in my opinion. But damn. Seriously, they are in a straight rebuilding process from my interpretation of it right now. AFC West starting quarterbacks.
This reminded me of you because you're always talking about AFC. You're always talking about divisions. And I thought,
okay,
that this is something. So Justin Herbert gets the numbers every year in the regular season. He just has not been able to get. Now, they had one win. They did have one win in the playoffs, and they haven't done that in a long time.
Which
right?
is progression. That is progression.
Yeah. Geno Smith, I think, will flourish.
Listen,
with the Raiders.
that division is about to be bananas.
Yeah.
With the emphasis you put behind Bo Nix,
Mhm.
that makes that division a bit of a focus for any football fan, not just fantasy. That division also has not had this much hype around all the teams that it has right now, in my opinion. Denver has been been a factor. Kansas City is definitely becoming one. The Raiders, right now, a lot of eyes are going to be on the Raiders and on the Chargers.
There's 6 teams, I think, every year that you got to keep your eyes open for.
Okay.
Every year.
Okay.
What do you think they are? And let's see if we agree.
Recently or ever?
No, well, ever's kind of
Ever's a
crazy,
lot,
but
but
yeah,
yeah.
let's just talk in the last 5 years.
Kansas City,
Yep.
Dallas,
Yep.
Green Bay.
No, I don't think
Yes,
so.
because Aaron Rodgers. Um, the Rams,
Yes, I would
and
agree.
then I will say
Did you say Philly?
I did not.
Did you know that Philly?
I was going to go. You said 5 years. I was going to go either
Yeah.
Cincinnati or Buffalo before Philly,
Okay.
and I would have been wrong because Philly and San Francisco should have been up there, being that the both of them have been to the Super Bowl. I'll say twice in the past 5 years.
You got it.
I think San Francisco went before
Twice.
last year, not this previous season, but the season before they were
Yeah.
there, and within 5 years before that when they were there. So they should have been up there.
Yeah. And part of the success that they've had is, I think last year was Vic Fangio.
Ooh. Oh, Vic Fangio. Okay.
Okay, he's the guy in the middle there of his chest, and he's just basically saying, he has no weaknesses. What the one thing that you can say about Jalen Hurts, he is classy. He knows what to say. He doesn't he doesn't get boisterous or crazy. He doesn't When things are good, he's pretty even keeled. When things are horrible, he's pretty even keeled.
Morris Chestnut spoke on Jalen Hurts
Hmm.
on First Take right around the last quarter of the season. He got a lot of attention. Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes, the numbers are similar.
Yeah.
Morris Chestnut broke it down. So Jalen Hurts is not getting the credit he deserves. He's not getting the respect he deserves. Now that he
They
has,
were rude
I hope he
last
did.
year. At the beginning of the year, you and I covered it in a couple of the shows that
Mhm.
they were basically saying he was slipping and all this other stuff. And I remember, I
He had
think,
an injury. That's what it was. I think he had a concussion issue.
oh,
That's what it
before
was.
that, I think he had back problems or
Uh-huh.
something. Who knows? Well, all that tush pushing, which is something we should bring up.
Pause. Go ahead.
No, but here's the thing. You know that they're trying to ban that.
I kind of want them to.
Really? Why? There's not a lot of injuries involved in it. There's no statistical data to back that up.
It can be an issue if you've got 9 different 300-pound people all over you.
Football's dangerous. Period. Do we agree
Yeah.
with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. So these are the hot takes right now. And we should talk about it because it is next week. No, 2 weeks.
2 weeks. At
2 weeks.
least 28th, right?
24th, same as my birthday.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, there's your birthday present already. Because I will be covering it.
Yeah. So Cam, if you don't know who he is, watch the tape. It's all over YouTube. He is insanely gifted when it comes to running. And he throws the ball sideways. He gets out of harm's way. He's powerful.
Travis Hunter to New Orleans
Yeah.
as a dual
He
threat.
he is the
Dude,
best player.
that would
On,
work in New Orleans.
yeah.
Two
But
dual threat
yeah.
quarterbacks, him and Taysom Hill.
Yeah, he's not a quarterback, Travis.
What does that say? It said defensive back. My
Yeah,
apologies. My apologies. I thought
no,
it said
he's both. He's a receiver
wide
and a
receiver and
defensive
defensive back.
back.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
he's just
Deion Sanders did that as well back in the day.
just
Um, Now Carter that you see here is huge, monstrous
mhm.
piece of real estate. Huge. Like he makes the guys beside him look tiny. Shadir, here's the problem with him. He's not super fast. He's not elusive like his dad was. He's okay. He got sacked a lot. But one thing he is better at than any of the new quarterbacks, he is great at processing things and throwing in the right direction and beautiful thrower. he processes the game faster than most kids his
So
age.
we could put him in the same category as someone who was drafted. I forgot what year it was. He's going to be similar to Eli.
And Brock Purdy.
I don't remember hearing that about Brock Purdy. Eli was a pocket quarterback, but he
Uh,
proved his elusiveness in that Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'm talking smart. Brock Purdy is
Eli
very
was
bright.
smart. Eli was smart because Peyton,
Oh, he still
Eli
is.
was good.
Yeah.
Peyton said Eli was better than him.
Yeah,
Peyton said that.
yeah. Because he's wizard
Mhm.
in the brain. Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah.
the Giants are going to do with him that Eli did, but they're going to
Yeah.
draft him. Eli actually switched over there and got booed like crazy for leaving San Diego hanging like that.
Well, so we're going down memory lane. I don't know if you remember
I
this
remember
guy.
Aiden. Yeah, I remember Aiden. Yeah,
Yeah, so he's a huge star now on TikTok,
I've seen him on TikTok.
and he, promotes cooking stuff and cell phones and
Mhm.
sweaters and you
Mhm.
name it.
Mm-hmm.
He does it. So we're going down memory lane, kind of a little bit of a gratitude thing here. This was one of
I
my
remember that man.
favorite
I remember that dude.
one of my favorite musicians.
How was he doing? I remember him.
Yeah, do you remember him?
I remember Brian. Yeah,
Yeah, he would have a few happy pops and
he was
play
a
away.
guitarist. And he was good.
Yeah, yeah,
He
a
was
good guy, fun. Got big numbers. He did really well
He
in
was
the
doing
short.
good. Yes, he was.
He came later. Here was one of my
I see
person I
she still
played.
does her thing on YouTube and Twitch.
Yeah,
She does.
yeah,
I
and
have seen her every now and then. Yes.
I feel like her life has only gotten better since then. She got married and all kinds.
Congratulations, lady. Congratulations, lady.
And here we go. And because being a musician isn't easy. That is a great photo of her there. That's a great shot.
It's an album cover.
Okay,
Donika.
Donika is love.
Donika.
Yeah, we love her. We
Of
love
course.
her.
Her and her sister. Absolutely.
Yes. Do you remember her? She was fun.
I remember Darby.
Darby
Somebody
Jones.
just asked me about her the other week.
Yeah?
I haven't talked to her since House went down, I don't think.
Yeah. And she was kind. And she did cooking shows and all kinds of other stuff. It says here, art, photography, gardening. Isn't it strange to look at these again?
I miss the good old days.
Do you?
I have to admit it was probably time to move on and it was running its course, but I miss what we had and I miss how much we was able to do for each other
Yeah.
on that platform. I like that more right there. We need to put that up for a lot of people. We need to put that up for a lot of people. I need everybody to pay attention to this, please. It makes total sense. And I really did feel it in basic training myself. Personally. I'm not that young anymore, but I remember that ambition. I remember that drive.
Well, it's good at this chapter too, right? It's not over.
We don't
When
have
you
the
lose.
energy that we used to have in our youth.
No, and I'm not saying it, but we still have challenges.
Yes.
We still have to deal with,
Right
especially
now,
for those.
at our age, it becomes life.
Yeah,
Yes, it is life.
daily life.
Yes,
Things that were easier now, not so easy.
exactly.
This is a good one too.
We're gonna put this on the big screen for everybody.
And you notice I didn't do just flowery spiritual. I did things I thought you guys would like.
Morality.
Yeah. For the common man.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Y'all take heed to that. Definitely take heed to that.
Yeah. Daily focus is so hard. Right?
Mhm.
So for those who don't know who I am, follow love. It's going to get a little flowery here for a second. Shout MGB, kindness, hope, healing, and I guess back then stillness. This is very old. This might be 10 years old. That one. I put this on for my good friend. His name is Tony D. And
Oh, okay. He was
yeah.
my symbol of inspiration in high school.
He was so brave, man. Fuck, he was brave.
Yes, he was.
He was willing to die to have the form, the time.
He
I
also
don't know many people that would do that. He knew he was at risk every time he went up there.
that's
Every
most
time.
people. That's most people when you fight for a cause. But he also realized that where he was going and what he was trying to get to wasn't what he thought it was, and it was going to. He reached a point where you start seeing that what you were fighting for, not only did you do some of it wrong,
Yeah.
we weren't going in the direction we thought we were. And he did say that he had a fear he led people in the wrong direction, which is tragic.
Wow.
Which is tragic. Brian is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Here, after he wakes up, this Joker.
Let me clear my throat.
Thank you. Good
Look,
morning,
man,
gentlemen.
what's going on?
Brian.
How's it going, Mike?
I,
He is,
I,
he is an
I,
hour
I,
behind. I got to give it to him. He is an hour behind us. So.
I feel like Brian and I are great friends who never see each other. And I'm so ever grateful to see him. But his life is always in pursuit of the next thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pull the brush your teeth for you come on camera the way you stop coughing.
No, it's out.
Allergies. Yes, yes.
I like the flag behind you there, sir. That's good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, have you been listening to the show at all, or if you just kind of popped in? Did you
I just popped in?
Okay. So, we were talking earlier, basically about coaches, right?
Mm-hmm.
We talked about coaches for a little bit. Who are some of your favorite coaches?
I have to go with. I mean, I like Mike Tomlin of the Steelers. NBA at the time, Pat Riley.
Yeah.
I always liked Bum Phillips, who used to be the head coach of the Houston Oilers, and then later Jack Pardee. And then
what do you think of the Harbaughs?
The Harbaughs are good.
Yeah, Whitney. Do you have a favorite of the two?
I like John because John's a little bit more relaxed. I mean, he's still structured, but he's relaxed, and guys could actually work under him. Versus Jim Harbaugh, Jim's more like a drill instructor.
Okay, repetition is the mother of skill.
Yeah, he's more of a drill instructor, and he's very critical. And but I mean, overall, I mean, he is a good coach. I mean, you do see the result. I mean, the work speaks for itself. But I don't know. It's just like with John. It's just with John Harbaugh, you could just relax, and he's like a player's coach. Him and Mike Tomlin.
I love talking to you about football because I kind of know what's going to come out of Tony's lips when he talks about football. I kind of know just from doing a few shows with him. Where with you, I never know what direction you're going. And I like that I have no clue what you're doing when you talk about stuff. And you have vast knowledge on things I thought you would not. Now, are you a person that is sometimes pretending everything's okay, but you're hurt? Would you say that is a true statement?
Yeah, I think that's everybody in general.
Yeah. And if you were to say that about Tony D and myself, do you think we're suffering?
I would say yes.
I'm messing with it because you just woke up.
I would say yes because for you, Mike, you're I mean, you're getting better, but before you're having like the bad cheeseburger withdrawals.
Yes.
And
I would say that's true. I wasn't getting enough endorphins to the brain from the bacon and cheeseburger.
Yeah. And then with Tony, it's the brisket sandwiches from Buc-ee's. He's having withdrawals from that.
Yeah.
Easy.
They made a monument for Tony D recently. They found it in the woods. This is a beautiful monument of Tony D, I thought. I was hoping it was me, but if further inspection, I found out it was Tony.
If that's they think I look like, we got problems.
I like this one.
This almost makes sense.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that one of the first restaurants I worked at that was like on the plaque, and I'm like, yeah, that is true.
Damn tragedy.
Because you hear it so many times in songs, like you'll hear it in that sense. It's like he's like, years ago we were young and wild and free, and now we're older, and now we're just kind of reserved and cool, calm, collected. But
I don't know how calm, cool, collective I am, but I love Winston Churchill stuff.
That's actually very accurate.
Yeah.
Oh
beautiful.
man, his bunker museum in London is amazing. I needed more time to be there because I was there from open to close, and I could probably say I covered about maybe half.
Mm-hmm.
But the Winston Churchill underground bunker museum is amazing. I mean, that's where when London was getting bombed, that was his headquarters. It was just underground. Pretty cool.
He said, when you're going through hell, keep going. And it's true. And he has, these incredible sayings, but he lived a tortured life. I actually had this one for Fireman Rich, and this is a graveyard that's close to me. And this thing is so realistic that Tia, every time she sees it, thinks it's a man from a distance. Every time. It's hilarious.
Stop picking on that dog.
Yeah. Now, who's this? He is a happy man who won Super Bowl.
Jalen Hurts.
Nope.
No, Jalen Hurts is number one.
Yes, he's number one. Yes. He's a wide
Hollywood
receiver.
Brown. Hollywood Brown.
He's a very happy man right now.
This is
That is a lot in today's society right now.
Yeah.
It is very accurate for today's society right now.
Yeah. 5 years running strong.
So how are you feeling about some of the moves because I know you love talking political. Is it okay we talk political for a minute?
Sure.
Okay.
Brian loves it.
Yeah, and I'm trying to feed the joy inside his being here. So Donald Trump and Elon Musk have become Padres friends, and I guess they have been for years, according to Fireman Rich. His wealth is very dependent, Elon, on the support of countries supporting, the technology of Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
There is a crazy amount of uprising coming about towards Elon recently, to the point where they're, trying to blow his cars up. And
and people who do own Teslas, like they're waking up and they're coming out and seeing their cars are being vandalized. It's like
disrespectful.
That's uncalled for. I mean, like as a society, like how we really stumped that low.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Tony and I talked about it a while back. It's like if we had a product or whatever, and we have people don't like what our products, but it's like, don't be destroying our stuff just because you don't like us.
Right.
It's like, don't hate me, not what I have. I mean, because what I have is benefiting everybody else.
Here is a very rich man who is talented. And I'm going to go somewhere with this. If he had been from the beginning, say with the 49ers, I think the outcome of his career would be drastically different.
I agree.
Drastically different. I think if he had been drafted to the Eagles, his life would have been, I think, drastically different.
I agree.
He ended up kind of in a poo patty. showed that he was capable in, Pittsburgh. The locker room loved him and were puzzled when, what's that?
When he left, right?
No, when they brought, Russell Wilson in, they were like, what are you doing? Like that, the whole locker room was like, this is crazy. And
Yep.
now they're scrambling to find anybody, and they're waiting now. The savior is Aaron Rodgers, who doesn't want to be there. He wants to be supposedly with the Vikings. What do you think of this, Brian and Tony D?
It's really crazy, but I think the Steelers may go with Kirk Cousins.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
I think
Yeah,
that'd be a good fit.
They'll
Really?
make yeah, because I mean if you really want to break it down, I mean
He was hurt.
that's the only downside of Kirk Cousins. Like
Yeah.
he gets injured, but I mean if he has the right offense and the right protection, then
Oh, yeah.
Kirk Cousins will be fine. But in regards to Aaron Rodgers, I mean he's up there in age. I mean, and then on top of that, like he brings the media circus with him, and a lot of coaches don't want that.
But there are those who know the value of his product. Like, he will sell merch.
Yeah,
He will fill the stands. The light will be, because we got to be honest, the Steelers in the last 25 years have not had a lot of trips to a playoff game. And they're hoping, hey, maybe we could win a playoff game,
they'll get to the wild card of the first round. That's about it.
but they never win. That's it. That it stops there.
Yeah.
Okay, Tony D.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of where he's landed? What do you think his chances are? Like, because he's gone from Chicago to the Steelers to New York. I don't think it's a bad fit. I think he'll do okay there. They've got 3 backs.
Right.
Did you know that?
I know that. I'm familiar with the roster. If it's going to work.
Brees Hall's good.
Brees Hall's great, healthy.
He's good.
When he's healthy,
good.
he's 100%. He's a beast.
Yeah, and
they've got all the pieces. They just got to make it work. They're looking like the Browns right now to me. They got all the pieces.
Well, yeah, but they got a great coach now. That's the big difference.
We're going to see how it goes. I've had my expectations high on more than one occasion. I'm exhausted.
Once bitten, twice shy.
I'm exhausted. Not once.
What do you think of the Falcons maybe giving up Kurt?
It's going to be all about Penix. I said that last year.
Yeah, they're gonna roll with him. I'm
rolling with him. Gotta see how Penix is going to do. I've got a lot of ambition for him.
Yeah. Do you remember this craziness?
That is the.
Is this not his craziness?
Listen, let's analyze this. Ready to move on from Green Bay. I've never felt appreciated by the fans or the staff. In my toughest times, they did nothing but pile on to it. That's true. They failed to build a competitive team around me and then blame me for the shortcomings. That's true. Whether I retire or play another season, I can tell you for a fact that I won't be wearing a Packers uniform. But I don't think you'll be going back, nor do they want to honor your legacy, because you were supposed to be what Brett Favre was, if not better. Now, they're good, they were right there, but when you messed up, they was on your case. They did the same thing to your predecessor. They did the same thing to your predecessor. So if you're going to say all that, let's be clear. That's 2 quarterbacks from the same franchise, damn near having the same complaints. What did that say?
It's the office, and then on top of that, the coaching, because he won the Super Bowl with Mike McCarthy, but then after that, like Mike McCarthy had a falling out with Green Bay, and then you had the other coach, and the other coach had a falling out, because of Aaron Rodgers, and then Aaron Rodgers goes to the Jets, and next boom, Robert Saleh gets fired. So is it Aaron Rodgers, or is it just
no? Because Brett Favre had the same situation. He went over there.
Yeah, but Brett Favre was crazier than Aaron. Come on, Let's be real. He was crazier.
Aaron Rodgers pretty much Brett Favre 2.0 right now.
I
I know.
disagree.
Going from
I-
well, in a sense, yes, because he went from Green Bay to New York because that's what happened to
They
Brett
both
Favre.
got a Super Bowl with Green Bay. They both went to the Jets.
Aaron has never had the off-field problems
Really?
that Brett Favre
Really?
had. Well, if he did, he probably cleaned them up better. Maybe he was better at cleaning it up.
What is Aaron Rodgers' worst controversy off field?
He is one of the most talked about people that is 41 years old who should consider retiring. We don't talk about Flacco
No,
in the same regards.
no. We didn't talk
Okay,
about
I want to
him.
talk about this guy here.
Oh boy,
He has lost a little shine
how?
in so many ways. Ever since he did that was it Cat Williams? Is that his last name?
Mhm.
He did that. It kind of imploded his career. It was great for a while. They had all those millions of views, but then he said, "Nobody wants to come on my show."
That's not true.
No, he said it on his
He's
show.
probably said that, but he's had a lot of great guests.
No, but
he
he's
won't
saying
have the-
A-listers. He's saying like A-listers that were brought up. He said they'll never come on my show now.
Because they don't
Ha-
want to answer them questions based on what Cat said.
You got it. You got it. What do you think, Brian?
I think that like for those that did turn it down, I mean, I think like they probably had something to hide. But I mean, lately, like last I saw, he had John Cena on there.
Mm-hmm.
So John Cena's kind of like, I don't know, mid to high name.
Yeah.
And then he had some other people, but I just think because
He's not going to have Oprah on. Let's put it that
No.
way.
no.
He's not going to have
No.
Obama on.
But he has had enough. He's had plenty of people on the show,
Yeah.
and he's also doing First Take in the morning.
But also too, I think like, I mean, some of the other guests that he had on was all right. They were fine, but
Mm-hmm.
then they're, but I don't think it gained any traction. But I don't know. I mean, right now it's kind of crazy right now in all of the celebrity world.
He's got 3
it is.
shows. He's got his show. He's got the show he does with Chad Johnson,
Yeah.
and he's got First Take. He's fine.
You got to be a very confident man to wear a pumpkin suit. Would you
I
wear
would.
you wear an orange suit like that?
I would, yeah.
Oh, that or that was it that camo green jumpsuit that he had.
It
Where he
almost
stepped out
looks like it needs
Where,
reflective tape.
where he's wearing wearing a fanny pack or something like that. Oh god.
Okay.
Yeah, he took a photo. He's like wearing a camo green, and it's like, bro, no.
So horrible year this year, good year, as good as last year where he was okay but not great. Is he going to take a cut in pay because he's definitely not top 10 anymore?
And this is
Travis Kelce.
You got it.
He will not take a pay cut because Taylor Swift would not allow it.
just motherfucker.
Yes.
Yes,
I said it. I said it.
I think Taylor might have enough money to buy a team. She's pretty close. And there's very few people that could do that. Okay, I wanted to go through this. I know this seems a little nutty, but I wanted to go through this. This is old. So what I wanted to do is look at where some of these people are today and how much of a crapshoot it is. So if you look here, number 84, right?
Uh-huh.
Devon Achane. That's gold.
Uh-huh.
That's gold. Look at here. Spears. Look where Spears is. 81. These are stars.
Yeah.
Tank Dell.
Yep.
Love him. Love him. He's a bit smashed up now, but what happened to Hendon Hooker? I loved him.
I have no idea.
Not utilized enough.
Tank Bigsby, number 88.
I remember hearing that name before.
Oh, he's so good. We talked about him last year. He was a rising star.
But we don't know what happened to him.
And Jake Moody. Remember Jake Moody?
I remember
He's
the name,
doing-
yes.
He's doing well as well. So that's what you can do. People don't realize it isn't always and Tucker Kraft. Look at right there. He's
He
Josh
will be
Downs.
back. He will be back.
Yes.
That's
He will be back.
DeMarvion.
Like, look at some of these names. Some of these names are
Josh Downs.
phenomenal.
Keep an eye.
Phenomenal. And this is what Dallas used to do. They could get someone around 60, 80 and make something of them. Right?
Yes.
There's always a gem in the rough. Now, I must have known on some level that the man who loves Texas and loves to sweat and eat burritos and burgers would be with us today. Brian, how did our friend do last year, and how do you think he'll do this year? Same question to Tony D.
He did okay, but I think it would have been better if the offensive line actually did their job. That's been a big ongoing issue all of last season. Which I think now is what I think they're doing is they're going to go ahead and invest in having a better front line.
Yeah.
Because with a good front line, like what Dallas did on Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott's rookie year, they put in the time and actually had a good front line, and that's why Dallas did as well as they did. So with a very good front line, then CJ could really, really produce. But most of the time he's running for his life. He got sacked. He got rushed. And then I think a couple times on the right side of the line, the right tackle got bullied, and then Laramie Tunsil giving us like 7 penalties in a game in one quarter. Nonetheless, it's like, bro, what are you doing? So
Tony, a reminder just of the time if you want to shut it down.
Right.
It's your call. Would you like to do that and start it back up, or do you want to just keep rolling for a bit more?
No, we can roll the last 3 minutes and then call it. We can come back later on today.
Okay.
I do need to get something to eat because I didn't eat breakfast.
Yeah. So I love when Brian's here. I love when we're together. I think it's a great thing. Everybody needs to follow
Always a
Brian.
great thing. It's about all of us getting on the same schedule. Yeah, I'm always
Yeah.
good.
I want you to answer the question there if you can. You have lots of time to do
I
that.
think CJ Stroud's going to be fine.
Yeah.
He had an outstanding rookie season. I don't know if he'll get back to that status ever, but they made it to the playoffs. I've got nothing against them. Once they make it to the playoffs, I give them their credit. My thing for them is to make it past the first round. That's something they haven't done in a minute.
Get past the divisional.
The divisional, pretty much, yeah. So they got to get into
past
the
the divisional. That's like the 3rd or 4th time we've gotten to the divisional and got shut down.
Exactly.
They need to get a few more pieces.
They've got
from the draft.
They've got to do it because not this season, previous the season before was it. They were there.
God,
this past season was injuries. So I don't
Nico
hold
Collins was so good last year, guys.
They are that team. They are ready.
Oh, dude, Nico Collins like last 3 years.
Yeah, but
he had to get it done.
You got to remember when you have Tank Dell firing on all cylinders, it gives you more breathing room, right? Yes. They were all over him because he was the only target. At least it seemed that way at times.
We said that.
Yeah, but like Nico Collins, his style of play is almost relative to Andre Johnson and Reggie Wayne.
Yes.
He has a swagger though, like Mike Evans. There's something about, and I know Mike Evans is old. And do you want to wrap this up, big guy?
I'm going to wrap this up. If we come back on next time we do a broadcast, Mike, I saw something on Twitter. Marvin Harrison and his son.
Yes.
His son's having a similar numbers.
Yes.
Which is a good thing. A very good thing. I do got to go ahead and get something. I'm starting to feel it. I apologize for cutting this short, Brian. I appreciate you popping up. I know it's late. Tina, how you doing? Thank you for coming through. Mike, I appreciate you. This is your idea. We ran it. Good show as always. Don Newland, appreciate you. Cam, appreciate you. Everybody coming through. We got 7 sets of eyes. I don't even know how many more we got out there, but I want to thank everybody. I need to eat. I'm starting to feel it. We can do one later if everybody's available, if everybody's free. If not, we'll do it again on another time. The door will be open for any random roundtables, not just sports, but anything, current events or whatever. My man Brian over there, the original co-host, appreciate you for coming through. My man Mike, #ShoutNGB. You all check him out on all platforms. Gentlemen, I appreciate y'all. This is always fun. We will always be around to do it again, and I will catch you all next time. All right. Y'all be good.
Bye bye.